Hey, TikTok. As you can tell, it is not. Maybe you can't tell. I guess it could be like super early in the morning, but it's not. It's twilight. It's afternoon. It's evening. What's up? How are you? I'm good. Thanks for asking. So I am on my evening constitution because she had shit to do today. So, you know what that means? It's time for another prison story. You ready? We didn't move very far in the last one, and we didn't move very far in the one before. We're going to move today. Because after this, there's only one more episode before the finale. So you got this one, then the next one, and then the finale. So they moved the old man out. I'm in the cube by myself. And I'm going to introduce you now to someone who is going to play a major role in my life. And I'm going to do something here. I don't know, honestly, TikTok, if it's the right thing to do. But I'm going to tell you his fucking name. And I want you to fucking remember it. And I don't fucking care what happens. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I'm going to tell you. His fucking name is Tyree Hammond. Fuck that dude. So they moved this new inmate into my cell, and he's approximately, and honestly, he might be smaller than this, and my memory just made him bigger, but he's bigger than I am. And I'm 6'3". So he was probably about 6'6", 350, 360 pounds, bald head, built, but fat, and had a tattoo on his calf of a meth pipe with words circled around it that said, "If it ain't white, it ain't right." Now, I did not look like I look now at all then. If anything, I looked older, fatter. I had hair down to about here, and it was kind of layered because it just had been growing for months and months and months. I had a scraggly beard in places, and it was brown and gross. And I was easily 40 pounds heavier than I am now, and it was all fat. I'd never worked out like not a day in my life since I graduated high school. And so I was soft and I looked soft, but I had hair down my back and it was white. And that meant something to Tyree because when he stepped into the cube, the first thing he said when he saw me was Jack. Yeah. And I mean, hey, he's a charming guy. He was really nice to me at first. Gave me batteries for free for my radio, and batteries were expensive. And you know, when you have nothing else to do and you just listen to the radio all day long to try and escape the fucking hellhole that the people versus you has landed you in, and somebody comes along and makes it a bit lighter for you, what would you do? What would you think? How would you react? I befriended him. I wanted him to protect me. I wanted him to like me. I wanted him to take care of me. And he did. He got me salads from the I'm not from the commissary, from the cafeteria, because he had friends that were trustees, even though federal inmates at this facility could not be trustees anymore at this point. He had friends that were, and they would bring him stuff with like the dinner trays. And he had access to, he could get drugs if you wanted them. I was determined at the time to be sober, so I didn't want any of that. But he was smoking weed all the time and cigarettes, and he'd get me food. And I mean, I wasn't a twink, but comparatively, I guess, he was feeding his twink. I don't know. It is what it is. And he ain't had no money. He didn't get commissary. At least I don't remember him getting commissary. And, memory's fungible. And so we got along. I moved from the bottom bunk up to the top, and there were more roaches on the top. But hey, you can't really expect a dude who's 6'6" to sleep on that top bunk. You just can't. I mean, unless you're 6'8". And so he would occasionally get commissary from me. Like he'd say, "Hey, Harry Potter, let me get you some batteries. I'll get you $20 worth of batteries, and you get me $10 worth of commissary." And I would, and I was happy to do it. And he'd invite me out to play cards, and like the other guys in the unit had not been willing to let me like sit with them, to play cards with them, to be friendly with them. They weren't mean to me, other than that one episode with Tyrus, but that never happened again. They didn't invite me to do shit. They didn't want me to do shit with them. I was obviously an other, full of the faggotry. And plus, most of them didn't bother to ask what my charge was. And I think a lot of them just assumed that I was a child molester, because that is essentially what people who looked like what I looked like often are there for. Scraggly, misshapen, surly, unfortunate looking white men. That's a type. They diddle. I'm not a diddler, but I guess I gave diddler energy. Not Diddy energy, though. Diddler. And so they ignored me exclusively. But then after Tyree got there, they stopped ignoring me. They let me play spades with them. They did. They let me teach them hearts. They played checkers with me. They, invited me to come sit there and watch LSU and Saints football games. I had no interest, but I did because I wanted to be social, sort of. Of course, me being me, I brought goodies with me because, I figure if you're going to invite me, I'm going to bring something to the table as well. Because back then, I didn't think I was enough on GP, just myself. So that if I'm at the table, I got to bring shit with me. So I did. I was friendly, I was considerate, I was kind, I was welcoming. And they reciprocated. Everybody was cool with me. And then maybe like 2 weeks after Tyree got there, one of the men from the other cubes asked me to spend the night in his cube. He's like, "Look, they don't ever check to see who's in what cube. Just come stay in my cube for the night. And like then, you know, my cellie will stay in your cube, and in the next morning we'll switch. No one will ever know the fucking difference." And I was like, is this guy really like sexually propositioning me like this? Openly? And like, I know this shouldn't matter, but I mean, he was not attractive at all. Not that I would have done it, not because I'm opposed to the notion. Like, had he been hot, I still wouldn't have done it because I was too scared. Like, I didn't understand prison at the time, and I didn't understand the dynamics well enough to feel comfortable doing something like that without the possibility of getting caught. Like, I was afraid that I'd get caught, and afraid that if I got caught, the consequences would just be awful. I had not yet really been on lockdown other than those few days at East Spanish Parish Prison on a court date. And I didn't understand. Like, those days were awful. That's going to be a bonus episode at some point. But I just did not, couldn't countenance it. So I told the dude, I was like, I'll think about it. Because I also didn't know how to say no. And legit, I'm not ashamed of it. I was scared to say no. I was scared that, like, what happens if I say no and he says yes? Like, where does that leave us? Impasses in jail, they don't just stay stalemates. They don't stay like You said no, I said yes, and that's just the way it is. No, that's not the dynamic. That's not how it works. Now, hey, maybe sometimes it works like that, but most times, no. No, it doesn't. So later that night, I'm in the cube after lockdown, after they've shut us in, and talking to Tyree as we talked about our lives and stuff. And I told him what had happened. I wasn't doing it like as a, hey, tattling or hey, anything really, just letting him know, like, hey, this happened and this is how I reacted. Isn't that funny? And the next day, he goes into that cube by himself and he's in there for like maybe 10 minutes. And when he comes out, the guy that propositioned me the night before goes over to the plate glass window and starts banging on the window, asking, like, to get the guard's attention. And the guard comes over and he's like, man, I need to get up out this cube. I need to get up out this unit. I got to move me, put me on lockdown. And I'm like, what the fuck? And later that night, after they locked us in, Tyree tells me, he goes, you don't have to worry about that motherfucker no more. That's not the word he used. But he's like, you're not going to have to worry about that motherfucker no more. You good. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, like, I wasn't worried about him in the first place. Like, not really. Like, I was worried a smidge, but like, not worried, like, do something about it. But let me tell you, he did something about it. And this is why I tell you, like, I didn't realize that at the time, the way that I realize it now, but I wanted him to protect me. And I telegraphed that to him in the only way that you can in prison, which is I let him do it. I let him do it. And he did it. So that's going to be it for today. Now, again, I know I said it was going to get moving, and it doesn't feel like we went anywhere. But trust me, if you have any faith in my storytelling ability, if you have any invested attention and affection in the story that I'm telling you, and the truth that I'm giving you, know that that moment, his presence means something, and you're going to find out soon. Bye.